Saint Germaine Cousin, also called Saint Germaine of Pibroch. She is a saint who was born in 1579 in Pibroch, a village near Toulouse, France. And she died there on June 15th, 1601, around 22 years old. She was beatified on May 7th, 1854, and canonized on June 29th, 1867, by Pope Pius IX. From birth, she bore heavy crosses. She was born with a deformed hand and suffered scrofula, a disfiguring tubercular illness. Her mother died when she was very young, and her father's second wife treated her with cruelty. Germaine was pushed out of the home and made to live in poor conditions in the barn, often sleeping on a pallet of vine twigs or straw. She was assigned the lowest work, tending sheep in the fields, exposed to cold, hunger, and ridicule. Now, her stepmother was very cruel to her, much like the Cinderella story. She had two children, and they were also very cruel to Germaine. They treated her badly. They would put rocks and ash into the food that they fed her. And she had to go out and tend the animals out in the fields, and she was left hungry a lot of the time. The gospel took root in her as a real living fire. She learned to love Christ in the Eucharist and cherished Holy Mass with such devotion that her whole day seemed to revolve around it. She shared what little food she had with the poor, and she practiced the meekness that was not weakness but strength, the strength of a soul that knows God, sees everything. In Germaine, we see the Beatitudes, not as poetry but as flesh and blood. Blessed are the poor, blessed are the meek, blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness. One well-known story says that when she was accused of stealing bread, she opened her apron and the bread appeared as flowers, a sign of God defending the innocent. Another tradition tells how she was mysteriously enabled to attend Mass despite her duties, with her flock protected in her absence. Now, she did go to Mass, daily Mass, I believe, and her flocks were completely safe, which was considered divine providence, because the other shepherds that were out dealing with their flocks, they were attacked by wolves quite frequently. So when she would go off to Mass, her flocks were safe when she came back, which was amazing. Germaine died quietly in 1601. She was found lifeless on her simple bedding, but God's vindication of his little servant did not end there. In 1644, when her grave was opened, her body was reported incorrupt, remarkably preserved, and public veneration grew.